Namaskar. I'm Dr. Satyapal, Associate Professor of English, Government National College, Sirsa. Friends, today we shall study William Blake's poem, The Little Black Boy. William Blake, an 18th century poet, has raised his powerful voice against the injustices against humanity. The poem, The Little Black Boy, is a powerful voice which supports equality of human beings. The poem argues for racial equality, insisting that our earthly life is temporary and we are all worthy of God's divine love equally. The poem has a powerful message that all human beings, black or white, rich or poor, are equal and they should be treated as equally good human beings. Let's know our poet first.
William Blake. William Blake was born in 1757 and he has been considered a pre-romantic British poet. He belongs to Britain and he has been considered a pre-romantic because in his poetry the traits found are romantic and they are not neoclassical. The neoclassical poetry of Dryden and Pope, that was over, and a new kind of poetry was taking its place. Hence, William Blake has been considered a pre-romantic because actually romanticism began in 1798 with the publication of lyrical ballads by William Wordsworth and St. Coleridge. So he has been designated as a pre-romantic. About his personal life, let me tell you that he had no formal education and he lived a life of obscurity. During his lifetime, many people were not aware of his skills as a poet. He was not only a poet, he was a pictorial artist and a creative artist. Creative artist means poet, pictorial artist means one who was a great painter. Pictorial artist and creative poet William Blake was, and he apprenticed to James Bessie as an engraver, and he adopted engraving as an occupation and earned his livelihood with this profession. He was a great painter and most of the poems are with the beautiful paintings. The poems he has published came with beautiful paintings. About his personal life, let me tell you that he married Catherine Boucher, an illiterate girl, in 1782. Why to mention illiterate? Because he considered human being as a human being, not one who is skilled or who is trained or who is apprenticed. She was a great human being and she took great interest in William Blake's work, especially his pictorial work, his work as a painter, and he had a great time with her. So this girl, Catherine Boucher, was his wife and she was very sweet to him, and he loved illuminated printing, a combination of painter and poet as he was. He was an engraver and a painter. Not only he designed his own works, but he designed works for others also. Very soon, I will let you see his paintings. We will move to that part also. William Blake, the painter and poet. Look at this picture. This is the front page of his poetical work known as Songs of Innocence and of Experience. This is the book which made him famous, and the painting, as if painting of a tiger Tiger. Yes, one poem with the title Tiger was very famous in this volume. Look at the design on this page. Let's see some more paintings by William Blake. The Little Black Boy, the beautiful rising sun, and the mother with her child underneath a tree. This is the poem in our syllabus. Very soon we will start and we'll read this poem, we'll analyze this poem. Apart from this, The Chimney Sweepers, a very famous poem by William Blake. London, another small poem, and criticizing the evil practices of his day. Tiger, as I said in the beginning, Tiger, a beautiful painting of a tree and tiger and other things with the poem The Tiger. William Blake, the great poet, the great painter. Let's talk about William Blake's works. As I told you earlier, Songs of Innocence, 1789. 1789 is the year in which this work appeared, Songs of Innocence, and then in 1794, Songs of Innocence and of Experience. The earlier work he combined with another work. He wrote two famous works. One was Songs of Innocence and the other was Songs of Experience. In this work, both the works have been combined, Songs of Innocence and of Experience. It came in 1794. He was a conscious artist and a conscious human being. He was aware of the problems of his times, and he raised questions regarding the values of his age, how people treated other human beings as inferior, how people exploited small kids, the chimney sweeper, and he questioned the values of his times, and he also felt, he believed that some kind of change was coming in his poetry. He rather anticipated that the form and content of poetry is going to change, and this change came in the form of lyrical ballads in 1798. Lyrical ballads, the first romantic work, rather the manifesto of romanticism by William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. The romantic traits which became famous with lyrical ballads, those traits were already there in the works of William Blake, and William Blake's poetry has other traits of the romantic poets. Like, his poetry is very simple, it is revolutionary in nature, and it is lyrical. So another remarkable thing about Blake's work is that he was much ahead of his times. He raised his voice against the evils like color discrimination and slavery. He also raised a voice against injustices which were being done to human beings by other powerful agencies. So one instance I'm quoting here, and that is 13th Amendment abolished slavery in United States on 31st January 1865. Notice the difference, friends. Friends, William Blake raised his potent and powerful voice against slavery in 1789, and see, it was only in 1865 on 31st of January that 13th Amendment bill was passed, which abolished slavery in United States of America. What can you say now? You can say that William Blake was 100 years ahead of his times. He was a great sensitive soul, and he felt the pains and pangs of exploited and downtrodden people. The poem in our syllabus is also about such people. The title of the poem is The Little Black Boy, and this is the poem which is a part of our syllabus. We will read this poem, we will analyze this poem. Let's move forward. The Little Black Boy. Let's read the poem aloud because a poem is for reading and we should read a poem aloud before thinking of anything else. And the poem goes like this. My mother bore me in the southern wild, and I am black. But oh, my soul is white. White as an angel is the English child. But I am black, as if bereaved of light. My mother taught me underneath a tree, and sitting down before the heat of day, she took me on her lap and kissed me, and pointing to the east, began to say, look on the rising sun, there God does live, and gives his light, and gives his heat away, and flowers and trees and beasts and men receive comfort in morning, joy in the noonday. And we are put on earth a little space, that we may learn to bear the beams of love. And these black bodies and this sunburnt face is but a cloud, and like a shady groove. For when our souls have learned the heat to bear, the cloud will vanish. We shall hear his voice saying, come out from the groove, my love and care, and round my golden tent like lambs rejoice. Thus did my mother say, and kissed me. And thus I say to little English boy, when I from black and he from white cloud free, and round the tent of God like lambs we joy, I'll shade him from the heat till he can bear to lean in joy upon our Father's knee. And then I'll stand and stroke his silver hair and be like him, and he will then love me.
The poet William Blake begins like, my mother bore me in the southern wild. My mother. See the use of phrase. My mother. Belongingness. As if the poet wants to say that everyone is ours. Mother is mine. Similarly, all human beings, we belong to each other.
Yes, the poet wants such belongingness in human beings. That's why he uses the pronoun my. My mother bore me in the southern wild, and I am black, but oh, my soul is white. Here, the little black boy, he says, my mother gave me birth in the wild, in the forests of the southern part of the world. He may hint to, to the South African area, southern area on the hemisphere, on the earth. My mother gave me birth in the forests of South, and because of that, my color is black. It is not because of any other reason. The reason is that my mother gave me birth in the southern part of the world where there is a lot of heat. And he says, I am black. But he says, my soul is white. The child is aware of his color. He is conscious of his color. His awareness is again stressed when he compares the English child with an angel. White as an angel is the English child. He contrasts the color of body, that of his own, with the color of the body of the English child. White as an angel is the English child, but I am black. Now, and I am black of second line gets converted into but I am black. And these two, they will be pronounced in different tone. That was I am black. And this is but I am black. As if bereaved of light. as if God has devoid me of light. God has not given me any light. It seems here the child feels sense of inferiority as compared to the English child. He feels inferior. And if we talk about some poetic devices and the beauty of these lines, then the first thing is choice of persona, means the characters. The little black boy with his mother, these are the two people talking to each other in this poem. And the innocent lamb like meek and humble and innocent black boy as the speaker in these lines is very poignant. It is very sympathetic kind of situation. It is a deeply poignant poem in which the little black boy pronounces the feelings of his heart. He he uh, he expresses how he feels inferior as compared to the white boy. So black, he knows that black is considered a symbol of evil and impurity in this world. He is aware of this fact. He is also aware that white is associated with goodness and purity, while black is associated with evil and impurity. In the Bible, all the angels, all the angels described in Bible, they are white. There is no black. There is no black angel in Bible. The child is perhaps aware of this. And the poet emphasizes the blackness and whiteness by repeating the term black and white time and again. Look at these four lines. The word black has been used twice, and twice has been used the word white, as if the poet wants the two to be equal. Two times black, two times white. So this repetition emphasizes the contrast, and the rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B. Perhaps you are aware how to find out rhyme scheme. The last word of the first line, wild, it rhymes with the last word of third line, child. So we can designate this as A. And second line ends with a word which is white, and fourth line ends with the word light. If we designate white and light as B, wild and child as A, then our rhyme scheme becomes A B A B. This stanza, which ends with a full stop after light, has four lines. Such a stanza is known as a quatrain. Quatrain, quarter means four, one fourth. So quatrain, a stanza of four lines. This is especially a ballad stanza used in ballad. This poem is ballad like, certainly, because with some changes, some lines are repeated in the later part of the poem also. Imagery, if you look at, then color imagery has been used. Black color and white color, the little black boy, and contrasted with the white English boy. This color imagery, these images are visible to us. The faces of the black child and the white child become visible while reading these lines. The poet has used a simile in the line, white as an angel. White as an angel is the English child. He compares the English child to an angel. A simile has been used here. Alliteration has also been used. हिंदी में हम कहते हैं अनुप्रास. Alliteration, when the same sound is repeated either in the beginning of a syllable or in the stressed position of a syllable. My mother, this is alliteration, ma, in both cases. So in these lines, the little black boy reveals his mental state to his mother. My mother taught me underneath a tree and sitting down before the heat of day. She took me on her lap and kissed me, and pointing to the east began to say, "My mother." These two words, which came in the beginning of the first stanza, they come again. So this is repetition. This is repetition, and repetition is for emphasis. Here, mother becomes important because it is the mother who is teaching her son. My mother taught me underneath a tree. Tree. Why the poet used this word? Is there any association with the tree of knowledge? John Milton described in his epical work Paradise Lost the tree of knowledge where Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit and they were sent to this planet for suffering forever. Is this the same tree? Is a big question. My mother taught me underneath a tree. It may have another connotation, another meaning, that mother and the child, they are very close to nature which is also God. My mother taught me underneath a tree and sitting down before the heat of day. We were sitting in front of the sun, the rising sun. And my mother taught me, she told me, she consoled me, and she took me on her lap and kissed me. I was the beloved son, and she was the beloved mother to me. Mother who will never speak a lie to her son. The mother speaks. He says, she kissed me, she loved me, and she took me on her lap. And pointing to the east, she began to say, she told me, she indicated towards the eastern direction, and she told me that it is there that God live. God does live. So the tree and repetition I have already discussed. And east, east is abode of God. East is also associated with, it is also associated with resurrection of Jesus Christ. East is a direction where God lives. In this direction the sun rises, the sun which is source of all life on this planet. If you look at the planets, then Earth is the only planet where life is possible because it has atmosphere around it. And God has blessed us with this facility on this earth, and it is possible because of the sun which comes in the east. Look on the rising sun. There God does live and gives his light and gives his heat away. The mother speaking now. The little black boy spoke in the beginning of the poem. If you look at this poem structurally, then you can divide this poem in three parts. In part 1, the child speaks. In part 2, the mother consoles. And in part 3, the child becomes intensely aware of his fate, of the inferiority, of the discrimination prevalent in the world. So this is the second part which begins here. Look on the rising sun, there God does live. The mother tells her son, the mother informs her son, the mother consoles her son. My son, look on the rising sun, there God does live. In the east, God lives where from the sun comes. Sun is a god actually. There God does live and gives his light and gives his heat away. See the similar pattern, his light and gives his light and gives his heat. His light and heat. The heat and light of the sun. Light which is a symbol of, which is a symbol of progress, which is a symbol of life, which is a symbol of virtue, which is a symbol of awareness. So, God, who lives in the east, he gives his light, he gives his heat away, and that too equally to all. This is what the mother wants to say. She says, he gives his heat and he gives his light to, and flowers and trees and beasts and men receive, not to one but to all. not only to the white people, but to the black people, not to the black people, even to the flora and fauna, flowers and trees and beasts and men. See how he writes. If we are to write in prose, we will write like flowers, comma, trees, comma, beasts and men. But in poetry, he writes every word preceded by the conjunction and flowers and trees and beasts and men receive comfort in morning, joy in the noonday. Because of the sunlight, they feel comfort in the morning and they become joyful in the noontime. It is sheer because of the heat and light of the sun. His cataloging style. I wonder when I look at the line flowers and trees and beasts and men. If you look at this line, the hierarchy, first comes flowers, then comes then come trees, then come beasts, and then men. Why men have been put at the end? Because these are men who discriminate. Flowers, the most beautiful creation of God. Beautiful creation of God, flowers. Life-giving trees and and powerful but beastly beasts who do not know any friendship, beasts who are very cruel for their prey, and then men, the most cruel animal, man who discriminates, man who takes people as their servants and as their slaves. That is why perhaps William Blake has put man in the end. So sun is metaphor of God, and this metaphor appears in these lines. It is not so. This metaphor will run in the poem till end. Sun, which is a symbol of impartiality. This fact has been highlighted in these 4 lines, that the sun is impartial. He gives his heat and light to everyone, be it flowers, trees, beasts, or men. The imagery here, the images are like that of the rising sun, which is also visible on your screen. Rising sun gives us hope, light, heat, a new energy. Flowers and trees and men, all these are parts of images. There is a question at the end of your at the end of the poem in your textbook about imagery. So I consider it as important to discuss imagery in the lines I read. Order of cataloging, order of listing, flowers coming first, then trees and beasts and men. This is very important. And we are put on earth a little space that we may learn to bear the beams of love. And these black bodies and this sunburnt face is but a cloud and like a shady groove. The mother consoles her son. The mother assures her son that we are put on earth a little space. We will live on this earth for a short time. After that, we shall go back to heaven. And this discrimination, this racial discrimination, this difference of black and white is only here on earth. My son, very soon we will go to heaven, and in heaven there will not be any difference of black and white. It is only on this earth. The mother tries to lessen the pain of the child, the agony of the child, by telling him that our earthly existence is mere probation which prepares us for next life in heaven. We are put on earth a little space that we may learn to bear the beams of love. It is here that we are under apprenticeship. We are under a kind of rehearsal. We are learning here. What we are learning here? We are learning here how to bear the beams of love, how to live with each other, how to live with each other with love. This we have to learn on this earth, and this we have to practice here on earth, because very soon we are going to heaven, and there we will live as equal human beings. And these black bodies and this sunburned face is but a cloud, she says. These black bodies and this sunburned face These two symbols are very powerful symbols. The mother tries to lessen the agony of the boy by telling her that you are better adapted to the circumstances, to the environment. Your black bodies are black because there is a lot of light and heat of the sun your body has absorbed. Sunburned face. Sun burns on your face because you have received sunlight. Sunlight, which is very important for body, which is very important for life. And you are better adapted to, to the environment. The black boy is better adopted. The white boy, the English boy, he cannot bear such strong beams of sunlight. And she says, is but a cloud. Cloud is a symbol of illusion. That this difference of color of bodies is a cloud, is an illusion. It is like a shady groove. Again, a simile is used here. She says that it is like a shady groove which will disappear very soon, and we will become equal. All will become equal. In these lines, which is again a stanza of 4 lines, quatrain, the sun metaphor continues. Again, there is a reference to beams, though these are not beams of sun, these are beams of love. Sun metaphor continues once again, and there are images of black bodies, sunburnt face, cloud, shady groove. They are concrete images. Black body symbolizes too much sunlight, which means some critics say that black people, they are very close to God because they receive too much of sunlight. Sunburnt face is a symbol of hard work. Actually, some people also believe that white people do not have any color. Color pigment is missing from their body. White is not a color. White is a situation. White where is a situation of colorlessness. Black is a color. Black is a color. So black is a good color. But the boy is not convinced. He feels inferior. See how the poet has used the word we. The mother says, look at we. Why we? The pronoun we combines together you and me. You and me are two, but we are together. She uses the word we, the pronoun we twice in the first line, and we are put on earth, and in the second line, that we may learn to bear. So we stands for unity, togetherness. She says there is no black and white, there is no discrimination. It is not you and me, it is we. For when our souls have learned the heat to bear, the cloud will vanish. We shall hear his voice saying, come out from the grove, my love and care, and round my golden tent like lambs rejoice. Here the mother assures and consoles the little black boy that for when our souls have learned the heat to bear, that my son, we are here to learn something. This is preparation for the next place, that is heaven. And here we have to learn. When our souls have learned the heat to bear, the cloud will vanish. When we learn to avoid this discrimination, not to discriminate against each other, when we have learned, then this illusion of superior or inferior will vanish. We shall hear his voice saying, then we will hear God's voice, and God will say, come out from the groove, come out from the darkness, my son, my love and care. Oh my children, you come out of darkness, and round my golden tent like lambs rejoice. Comparing human beings with lambs, and comparing his universe with a golden tent. God will invite us. God will invite us that we should come. We should come out of our illusions. We should come out of our evil thoughts. We should come out of our discriminations based on caste, creed, gender, or color. And we should play together. This is God's world. This is golden tent. This is the third color which William Blake mentions. Earlier he mentioned black and white. Now it is golden. This is the third image of color. He invites, God invites. This is how the mother consoles and tries to lessen the pain and agony of the little black boy. An inverted comma closes here means the speech of the mother has come to an end. Thus did my mother say and kissed me. The child points out that this is how my mother told me. And thus I say to little English boy, the same thing I tell to the English boy, to the white boy, that when I from black and he from white cloud free, he says, I want to come out of the inferiority complex of black color, and I want him to come out of his superiority of whiteness. Only then it is possible that we will play together and round the tent of God like lambs we joy. Lamb, the image of lamb has been repeated in these two conjunctive stanzas. Lamb is a pertinent image. You must have seen Jesus Christ's image with a lamb he is holding in his hands. Lamb symbolizes innocence. And little black boy. He did not write a poem, The Black Boy. He wrote a poem. William Blake wrote the poem, The Little Black Boy. He wants to underline the innocence of the child, contrasted with his consciousness of color. The poet says that the boy says that my mother told me, she kissed me, and she told me how one day we will be feeling equal. We will feel equal to each other. Once we are parted, we do not consider each other equal, and situation will change very soon. We will follow each other. We will be together with each other. Now, in these lines, not only these lines, the whole poem is written in iambic pentameter. What do I mean by iambic pentameter? This is a kind of meter. The first, the first word is unstressed, for. When is stressed? Then our is unstressed, souls is stressed. One syllable is unstressed, followed by a stressed. Then again one unstressed syllable followed by a stressed. And five, penta. Why penta? Penta means five. These kind of uh, feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. Iambic pentameter. Iambic means unstressed followed by stress, and five such feet make iambic pentameter. The color image has been used here. Golden color, as I mentioned earlier, it is the third color. Image of tent. Image of tent, a very beautiful image with the sun in full bloom, with the sunlit world, golden tent of God. Innocence, lamb, innocence. Lamb stands for meekness. Lamb stands for innocence. I'll shade him from the heat till he can bear to lean in joy upon our Father's knee. And then I'll stand and stalk his silver hair and be like him, and he will then love me. These are the final lines of the poem, the final stanza. This is the third part. Even now the little black boy is not convinced that the white boy will treat him as his partner, as his equal partner. I'll shade him from the heat. He is conscious that there is color discrimination in the world. the little black boy. I'll shade him from the heat. He's ready to help the white boy till he can bear to lean in joy upon our Father's knee. When I and the white boy, we are in heaven, and he will lean on our Father's knee means he will be in the God's world. I will shade him, I will shield him, I will support him, and I will save him from the scorching heat of the sun. And then I'll stand and stroke his silver hair. Silver is the third color mentioned in the poem. Silver is the third color. Earlier there were black and white, and then golden, and now silver. And I will stroke his silver hair. See the beauty of this line. How? As if something is being celebrated. Notice the sound of this sir in stand, and stroke, and his, and sir in silver. Let me read this line. And then I'll stand and stroke his silver hair, whistling sound, as if they are enjoying, they are whistling and dancing. He imagines, the black boy imagines, that very soon I'll stand and I'll stroke his silver hair out of love and be like him. This is the craving. And be like him. These four words are very painful, because he wants to be like the white boy. He has deep sense of inferiority in himself, and he will then love me. This is the hope. This is the hope in the heart of the little black boy, that he will be loved by the white boy one day. So color image, silver color, silver without black. Imagine your school days when you mixed colors with one color with the other. How we made silver color. Is it possible to make silver color without black? Not possible. There are deeper meanings in the poem. Deeper meanings in the poem, and the color imagery, black and white and golden and silver. This is very beautiful. Actually, the poem is very beautiful. I have discussed the poem within constraints of time. The choice of little black boy as a persona who is suffering, who is conscious of his inferiority, use of similes and metaphor and alliteration and beautiful images. Images of God, images of tent, images of lamb, cloud, what not. And the beautiful changing tone, tone of mother, tone of the boy, and tone of the poet. And use of iambic pentameter, common speech rhythm in the poem make this poem beautiful. And the most beautiful thing in this poem, I believe, is the message. What message this poem gives us is very important, because this is God's world. We all are equal. We should not make any discrimination on the base of caste, color, nationality, or gender.
Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed the poem The Little Black Boy, especially the message in the poem that we all human beings are equal in the eyes of God, and we should treat everyone as an equal partner in this journey of life, irrespective of caste, color, or gender. Thank you very much.